I am in the clouds. I'm so excited for this new episode. Let's go! Hi, you guys, and welcome here in another Bring the Magic Live. I am super excited to be here with you today because we're going to talk about creation. And I love creation so much because when you are in that creative flow, you are aligned to the magic within you and it is just effortlessly coming to form. If you are in a position where you're like, oh, I have a million ideas, but I never really get into that flow and really creating them, then this episode is for you. Welcome at Bring the Magic Live. My name is Nanda, and I am the founder and creator of Ananda Soul Travel and our beautiful spiritual center here at the end of El Camino, Sol Fisterra. Today's episode of Bring the Magic Live is about that beautiful flow of creation, that inspiration that comes to you and says like, oh, I have this magical idea that if I were completely free, if I had like all the time in the world, I would be writing a book, or I would be creating a lovely course, or maybe a 3-step process to help people in need. And that inspiration is the voice of your soul or the universe talking to you, and you are chosen by that creation to bring it into form. But what most often happens is that you're like, I don't have time for that, or that you say like, oh, but that would be ridiculous, or that you're immediately attaching the creation to making money and you say like, well, who's gonna pay me for that? And then in the end, you stop the creation process before it even started. Well, working from your magic is exactly the opposite. Working from your magic means that when you have that inspired idea and it gets you motivated, it gets you enthusiastic, then you follow that creative energy and you just start to explore. Like, how will I be bringing this to form? What feels most aligned and most joyful for me to do this? And you just start or writing it out, or you just start recording your videos or your meditations, and you're just like doing it for the fun of bringing that creative energy to form. And when you are satisfied with it in the end of that creation process, then of course you can share it with the world around you and make a little money from it. But that's not the core objective of working with that creation. Working with the creation and saying yes to that creative energy is giving a very strong signal to the universe that you are ready to, whatever inspiration comes to you, to bring it into form, to take the actions necessary. So that means that you will get more inspiration. That means that the universe is going to support your bigger dreams or your bigger creations, and that you become that vessel that just like automatically effortless creating the things that come through you. And that's the point where you want to be. If you're anything like me, you have like a gazillion ideas coming through you every week. So sometimes it takes a little bit of making choices about the creations that you really feel aligned with, the creations that really feel like, oh, they light me up. That is really something that I've been dreaming up for a longer time, and prioritizing all of that creative energy a little bit. But it's also very empowering to choose when you're just starting out. I don't know where you are in your creative process and in bringing your magic out into the world, but when you're just starting out, sometimes that really big dream and that big vision take a lot of tiny steps to bring it into creation. And when you have that full creation process and you have a lot of challenges on the way before actually finishing it, it can be a little bit discouraging. So I advise you to like write all of your inspiration down, like have a list of all these crazy and beautiful ideas that come through you. Make a list of them and then prioritize them a little bit in the sense of like how much joy will they bring if you actually bring them to form. And that's your priorities. And then also arrange them a little bit in the sense of like, okay, how much time will it take to realize this creation? So for example, writing a book will be like half a year or maybe a year or 2 years. So that will be a big project. But creating a article or a blog post, that can be done in one day, in a few hours even. So categorize your creative ideas and pick some, especially when you're training your muscles, your creative superflow energy. When you're still creating that muscle, pick a few that you can do this month. Like, and you can do just like one or two, and then at the end of that month, have that sense of completion, fulfillment, because you have let the creation lead you into taking the steps, and in the end, you have a physical product. So you can create a beautiful online course that is like in 3 videos, or you can say, let's write an ebook of 20 pages. It doesn't have to be big. It is just something to get you into the practice of creating and really taking the step of bringing that inspiration to form. So how I do this is a lot of the times I have like 2 or 3 days within the month where I feel like my creation power, like the actual manifesting, the actual taking action energy is at its peak. And well, last time it was just the second day after the full moon. That full moon had brought up a lot, like I was shifting a lot of old energy into new energy. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm gonna create an ebook. And then I was creating the ebook and I was also doing the design. And then at the end of 4 hours of undivided attention, I finished it. And it's really beautiful. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I will put a link below. So that you can have your own new and full moon rituals guidebook. And then after that, I was like so on fire. So I started to revise my whole website. That was a bigger project. So I didn't finish that within one day. But we're now a week later and I feel like, okay, it's coming to form and I can really do this within 2-3 weeks. And it's amazing when you say yes to your creations and how you are taking these actions. And then at the end of that process, you can literally say to yourself, I did it. And that energy is going to help you to take on bigger projects and say like, yes, I can do that too. So that's these 2 examples maybe, yeah, are maybe an inspiration to you. Like, what are the bigger projects that you keep on postponing? For example, you also want to have your own website or you want to write a book and you keep on postponing them. Well, I advise you to become a little bit more clear on when you feel that burning energy of like, oh, I need to create something, like your hands are tingling, that feeling, or that your mind just like is so super focused that you need to like channel that energy into taking the action. Well, start there. Start in the days that you feel good. And then after you've had like small successes, You can tap into that energy of, yes, I did it, on the moments where you dedicate your time and energy on working on bigger projects. So for example, website design and website like rebranding and stuff, it takes time and dedication. So I tap into the success of writing that book in 4 hours and then say like, okay, I can do it. I have like that magical line is still active, because that's actually how I see this. If creative energy chooses you for a project or or a book or whatever creation wants to come to form through you, it is actually an invitation from the universe. So it comes into your head, like you have that line that is inspiring you, and you feel that tingling feeling, and you have like, oh my God, oh, that's such a beautiful idea. No, your video is not stuck, because that is where a lot of people freeze. After they have that tingling feeling of magic coming through, they have like all of these obstacles coming. Like, how do I do that? Where do I start? It has to be perfect. How can I make money with this? Where do I have the time? What tools do I need to get started? Who can help me? All of those like questions can actually get you out of the creative flow. Instead, what I want you to do when you have had that experience of that tingling, inspirational feeling coming through, take action right away. Just if you want to write something, write it down right away. Block like 2 hours in your calendar in the evening. If you are working the whole day and you had that inspiration in the shower, block 2 hours in the evening and say like, okay, I'm going to dedicate my time and energy to acknowledging the creation that wants to come through. And then create your raw draft and just take take some action in the direction of your dream creation, right? So I'm going a little bit here and there, but I hope you get the drift, because it is all about saying yes to your magic. Your inspiration, these ideas that come to you, they are not coming to anyone else. They are coming to you, because you are the one that is absolutely capable of bringing this to form and making it into a great success. And this brings me into the last subject that I want to touch on, because saying yes to your creations, bringing them to form, is already a success. It doesn't have to be anything else than you saying yes to your magic and creating it in the way that feels good to you, in the way that feels expansive, in the way that you feel like, oh, I've been playing full out and now this is what I've created. I remember the first time that I literally wrote a book, I was like uncomfortable, but I decided that it would be like a book that I would write just for me. And having that experience of bringing a book out into the world, that was my big desire. So it didn't have to be like a bestseller. It didn't have to be like changing the whole world, although it did have that potential, because that potential is inside every one of our souls, and including mine. But the book itself, having that physical book in my hands and saying, wow, I did it, that was the success. And that is the success I want you to feel. That is the experience I want the whole world to have. And of course, it's nice if there's like 1,000 book sales after the launch that you did. Yes, of course. But saying yes to your magic and bringing that magic out into the world is a muscle. So you need to start small. You need to start somewhere. And once you say like once you have like a whole row of experiences where you said yes to your magic and to these creative ideas coming to you, the more easy it will flow, the more you will come into that creative flow and say like, oh, well, what else is there? And then there's this big project coming up and you say like, oh, of course I can do that because I have already had the experiences that I am being guided. Because you are co-creating with the universe. So all of that inspiration that the universe brings to you is because you have the capabilities and the talents to bring into form. And so, yeah, start exploring, start acknowledging that, yes, you are here to bring your magic. And in whatever way or form, if it's not perfect yet in the first time, you can do it again. It's no big deal. But the thing that I want you to take from this video is that you don't get into that freeze moment and blocking yourself with all these limiting beliefs and the hows and the I don't know if I'm good enough and all of these, yeah, all of these limiting beliefs. I want you to have the experience of, oh my God, I did it. And the more you say yes to your creations, the more the universe will bring to you, the more inspiration you will get, the more support you will feel from the people around you, the more coincidences will happen, and you get to create the life that you truly desire. Bringing Your Magic is a beautiful, beautiful community online where we support each other in bringing more of our magic out into the world. And I really want to invite you to join us. So check out on Facebook. Oh, I have to point this way. Check us out on Facebook and on Instagram. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being in this space with me. And I can't wait to hear what creations are coming through when you just say yes to your magic.